Okay, good evening and welcome to Iyun Mishna. Today we finished Parak 6, Parak Vav in Masechtas Sheviis. Now we're going Parak Zayin, Mishnah Aleph. Today we're going to talk about Mishnah Aleph. It mentions that Klal Gadol Amru B'Shvius, there's a big general rule. Shemitah, Kedusha Shemitah applies to any type of four things, even if they're not all of one. It's any one. It's either animal food, that's food for human beings, or even if it's animal food. Even if it's not animal food, it's just a dye, produces dyes, or even if it doesn't produce dyes, it's Einu Miskayim Ba'aretz, that it is living in the fact that it'll rot and it'll destroy if you don't cut it from the land. It'll rot away, as opposed to stones and things like that. There's no Kedusha Shemitah by stones because you leave it there, it'll remain the same for many years. So, what is the difference? And one of the things it mentions in the Mishnah, Hachochim B'Adardarim, these are thorns and thistles, have Kedusha Shemitah. We know when we said Kilayim, we talked about thorn and thistles, unless they're fed in places where they're fed to animals, they have Kedusha Shemitah. If they're not fed to animals, they have Kilayim. There'd be extra Kilayim. If you planted another vegetable next to thorns and thistles, it would give the thorns and thistles a status of Kilayim only if it's fed to animals. If it's not fed to animals, even if there's no Israel Kilayim, they're here, there's Kedusha Shemitah. So what is Kedusha Shemitah? How could you have Kedusha Shemitah if it's not food? It's even the Einu Miskayim Ba'aretz, there's a dye. How could you have Kedusha Shemitah? So this is a big yisod, and the idea is that obviously the Isser of Kilayim, Kilay HaKerem, Kilay HaZerah, is something, the Isser there is to benefit from it. We explained over there that Kilayim is when you grow two things together, you're ruining both of them. You're ruining the nutrient value and the enjoyment value of both of them. It's a ruining of the fruit. And when you grow those things, and when you eat them, you are ruining your diet. And maybe it's a bracha levatala. It's one of the Nasaris had dibro. Sis Hashem l'kach l'shav. Everyone would why bracha levatala. Why is it nisha d'oraisa? You say bracha levatala. Bracha is only rabbanan. You say borei pra'etz on an egg. I mean, it's the wrong bracha. It's not from eggs. Eggs grow from, they're produced by chickens. By hens. They don't come from trees. So it's bracha levatala. I was going to say it's d'oraisa. How can be d'oraisa? No. Don't make brachas on things that are not good. Right? You say a bracha on something that's not good. Right? Even if you say the right bracha, you say a bracha on a terrible piece of chocolate. It's disgusting. It tastes terrible. It has salmonella. Right? Recent callback in Israel. Some elite bars have salmonella. You say something which is going to hurt you. So it's a bracha. I'll tell you it's the right bracha. Because the point of foods that you should eat, and you should enjoy them, and you should thank God for enjoying them. If you're eating foods that are disgusting to you, so it's a bracha levatala, because Hashem doesn't want you to benefit from these things. By Sheviis, it has to do with enjoyment. That's not Sheviis. The Sheviis, the Isser of Shemitah, we learned that there's two Isurim by Shemitah. There's two dinim by Shemitah. But the main din by Shemitah is a din. It's a din on the karka. It's a din on the ground. Kedusha Shemitah is Hashem doesn't want you on the gav. He doesn't want you to work the land. He wants you to rest from working the land during the 70 years. It's a personal rest on the person. And second of all, he wants the land to lay fallow. The land to lay fallow. The Torah really explains this, because if you let the land lay fallow, it's going to grow better for the next 6 years. It's going to be recharged. It's going to be rejuvenated. So therefore, even Kotzim have Kedusha Shemitah, because if you are not knowing the Hilchos Shemitah, you plant thorns and thistles, you're still ruining the effectiveness of the ground. You're not letting it lay fallow during that 7th year. And therefore, you're ruining the quality of the ground, because it's now growing things 7 years straight. It never had an ability to recharge, to refuel. That's why Kedusha Shemitah applies even by thorns and thistles, because it's a din on the karka. It's not a din in you benefiting from the food. It's a din in, how to work the land. But the Kedusha Shemitah is the ground producing anything which is miskayim ba'aretz, anything which is significant growth, that it will rot. It's obviously growing something living. The land is not laying fallow, and you're ruining the Kedusha of Shemitah, and that is why it's a problem. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you tomorrow.